Yes, sir. Come on in. Come on in. How's everybody doing? How's everyone doing? How's everybody doing? Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. I know I shocked y'all, surprised y'all, didn't y'all? Didn't I? No intro, no countdown. We're just gonna come straight in and get to it this morning. We're gonna let the room build up a little bit. We're gonna let the room build up a little bit. How's everybody doing this morning? How is everybody doing this morning? Shout out to Jerome Adams for upgrading their membership.
Sweet.
Shout out to Ken. Shout out to SD Walk. We're gonna let the room build up a little bit. I didn't do a countdown because we're gonna be talking some serious stuff today, so I didn't want to do a countdown with instrumentals and rap music. I mean, every time I talk is serious, but this is a little bit more serious, I think. So I just wanted to come straight on. Shout out to Mika. Shout out to Devontae Smalls. Shout out to SD Walk. Say he bodied his plays this morning. That's what's up. Jonathan, what's up? God bless you. Hope all is well. Appreciate you. Hope all is well with you as well. Shout out to Interstate Screw. All right, so boom, we jumped up. We got 7 likes. We just jumped from 3 to 21. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Let's get into it. Let's get into this. All right, so this is something I've been wanting to talk about for a minute. I know I mentioned it like last week or a week before last and said that I was going to talk about it, and then I kind of got sidetracked. So this is something I already had been meaning to do. I was going to do a video on it, but I decided to make it a live stream so that way I can keep it as an open dialogue. So what I'm going to do is I am going to hold on, let me see here. What I'm going to do is I am going to pin the link to the top because I want it to be an open dialogue so people can share their thoughts, on this topic, because I think this is a topic that needs to be discussed. It's probably been discussed somewhere on YouTube, but it definitely hasn't been discussed in this community. I want to highlight some things about being on YouTube as a Black individual, educating people on YouTube as a Black person, educating a predominantly Black audience, the pros, the cons, the ups and the downs, the good and the bad that comes along with it. From my perspective, from being a person that does it, and from viewing other content creators that are Black, that are on YouTube, mostly in the education sector. All right, so let me pin this link to the chat. Now, don't call in right now. All right, if you do want to share your thoughts, call in, whether they're positive or negative, feel free, but like kind of wait till I start cooking, and then if you agree or disagree with something and you want to chime in, feel free to chime in. I think this would be good for the viewer. It may give you a different perspective on viewing Black content creators on YouTube, and also to people that are interested in becoming a creator on YouTube, and if you are Black and you're going to be dealing predominantly to a Black audience, maybe some of this stuff can help you going forward, prior to entering, and when you get in, know what you're going to be up against and what you're going to deal with. All right, so I want to tackle this thing from 3 points, right? I was going to jot down some notes, but then again, I decided to do it live because I wanted to capture my thoughts, right? I want them to flow, so I'm just flowing with it. But I did outline 3 categories, and I'm just going to flow with it because these are going to be my genuine thoughts, you know what I'm saying? So it is Black History Month, so I think now is a great time to do this type of content as well. I'm not expecting a lot of people don't like to hear this type of stuff. They want stuff that is ultimately gonna make the money, which is fine. I don't really care. And I'm gonna touch on that too. So it would be wise for people to watch this type of content, but you already know how this goes. So boom, check it out. All right, let's get into it. All right, so one, being a black creator on YouTube. The reason why I decided to do this because it was something I wanted to do, but what really sparked me to do it, I was watching Richard Fain about 2 weeks ago. I don't know if people watch Richard Fain. Richard Fain is he's in the financial sector on YouTube. He's an ex professional football player who had a short-lived career in football. He's really, really good friends with Deion Sanders. He had a short-lived career in football. I think he was in football for about 3 seasons. He made a little less than $500,000, I think like $450,000 over the course of 3 seasons. All right, so obviously that wasn't enough money to live off of for the rest of his life since he had a short football career. So he got into finance. All right, so he was in the finance industry for 25 years. Since being out of the finance industry, he has been a creator on YouTube. Right, and about 2 weeks ago, actually, yeah, so 2 weeks ago, 9 days ago, he went on a rant. Now, Richard Fain, I was going to do a response video to it, but I'm not. I'm just going to speak in general to my audience and people that come across this video because I have a predominantly black audience. He went on a rant. All right. Richard Fain has a successful YouTube channel. I think he's at 681,000 subscribers. And I'm going to play a little bit of this video, which since then he has apologized because I was kind of upset with him because I understand the nature of our people. I understand why what he was complaining about, why he feels that way. And I understand it from the other side of the coin and why people don't support. So that is what ultimately led, like, let me hurry up and push this up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this Richard Fain, like a small clip of this, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts, and then we're going to continue on with the stream. All right. So let me pull that up real quick. Let me pull this up.
It's not like that. Again, I don't know for other creators, but I'm just talking about my experience. So when I look at these subscribers and I look at these views, and I'm thinking there's a disconnect somewhere. What's the problem? And that's frustrating because, yes, you can make a lot of money on YouTube, guys. Let's just get that out of the way. You can make a lot of money.
I'm going to talk about that too because I think there's a misconception. And I want to discuss the money on YouTube because I see creators throw shots. I see subscribers throw shots because they don't understand how YouTube works. Not everybody makes a lot of money on YouTube. All right. So just because you're on YouTube doesn't mean you make a lot of money. Just because you have a significant amount of subscribers does not mean you make a lot of money. Certain sectors pay more than others, and there's a lot of things that contribute to how much a lot of these YouTubers make. A lot of the YouTubers that make 50 grand to 100 grand a month, a large part of the money that they make come from community support. But let's continue. And when I say community support, I'm talking about like super chats and stuff like that. You see a lot of those subscribers, they have they ask for cash apps and shit like that
on YouTube. I've made some good money on YouTube. But you guys got to understand, before I got on YouTube, I had money. Right? I had money before I got on YouTube. So the main purpose of getting on YouTube really was to help people.
So now I share that same sentiment with Rich. Before I got on YouTube, I already had money. All right. So I don't make money. More times I lose money. I don't make a lot of money. I'm not in a sector like Richard and like the entertainment sector that makes a lot of money. This sector is very small. It's a very small niche audience. This sector does not make any money. There's just not enough interest in this sector to have all those types of views. The people that are in this sector, keeping it funky with you, don't feel offended, don't get upset, don't have the money to really support the creators. So I came in with the same way Richard came in. I come in to help people, and I'm gonna prove that to you too later on in this stream.
Take my knowledge, my experience, my skill set, and share that with people to help them get to financial freedom. Help.
And this is what I do. I take my experience, my skill set, and my knowledge, and I give it to you for free. All right. I've done it. I did it successfully for many years. I divested and I exited successfully. Right. So for me to come on here and share the same sentiment as him, I'm just here to help people. I want to see people win. I have to give back to what has given to me and made me the person that I am. For me to sit here, at 11 o'clock in the morning when a lot of people are out having to work and, to provide to put food on the table, it's a blessing. I worked for so many years really, really hard. I practiced delayed gratification. I sacrificed a lot so that I could be in this position, soon to be 44, sitting here retired, chilling, talking to you guys, giving you guys the information that I had to bust my butt and learn and lose and figure out. So same sentiment that he's talking, I share that same sentiment. That's why I'm here.
Them get to their pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. That was really the main purpose of it. So even in the early days when I wasn't making any money, but I was gaining traction and people were watching the videos, subscribers were growing, I was thrilled with that. Even though at the beginning I wasn't making no money. I was just happy that people were taking the content, digesting it, making comments, contacting. I was just happy that was happening because that validated the main reason why I did this. Now you come 4 years later, it's like, I don't feel the validation is there. And it's frustrating.
Now, I want to talk about this. This is why I got kind of upset at Richard. And this is not a review video. I'm just using this video to parallel, some of my thoughts about being a creator in the space. Now, keyword he said was 4 years later. All right, so that puts us in the 2020 category. And I would think Richard is a smart individual, you know what I'm saying? So I would think he would kind of understand this. And this is something I've touched on before, but I haven't really focused on it because my content is about trucking for the most part. Listen, for the most part, and don't get offended. Don't get offended. We keep it a buck. Y'all know I'm always keep it a buck. Black people want to be entertained. They don't want to be educated, right? So when he's looking at his channel from 4 years ago and how it grew as fast as it did, right? And the interest that probably was the interest and the time that was taken from people investing into the information that he was given on his channel then versus now, you have to put yourself in the mind frame of a person in 2020, 2021, and 2022. Even some of 2023. Why? You had people that had money. The stock market was booming in 2020. The crypto market was booming in 2020, 2021. People had money. People were investing into things that could make them money. People don't have money now. So it's back to entertainment. When people had money and they had these ideas and influencers were investing in being your own boss and investment, multiple streams of income, the education sector was booming. Let's parallel that with the box truck industry. All right. In 2021, go on Social Blade. Look at some of your favorite content creators. Look at their channels and look at those spikes. Look at the spikes. All right. So in 2021, 2022, 2020, education was the big deal. People had money. People wanted to invest in businesses. So people invested their time into being educated. People don't have money anymore. So it's back to bullshit. It's back to entertainment. It's back to Shannon Sharp versus what's the new one? Shannon Sharp versus Mike Epps. Mike Epps called him gay. Shannon Sharp saying he's going to catch him, do something to him. It's the Super Bowl. It's Monique last week. It was Cat Williams a month ago. It was P. Diddy right before that. And the list goes on. It's back to the entertainment. No one is focused on being educated. Box truck business. These views are down. The beautiful thing about me is I wasn't on YouTube during that time period, and to me, that's a blessing. That's a blessing that I wasn't on YouTube in 2020, 2021. I came in at the beginning of the decline. So everything that I built on this channel, how I've built it, right? It came from my experience. I didn't get a chance to be in the midst of that hype. Because listen, if I would have came on YouTube in 2020, 2021, there's no doubt in my mind I'd be well over 50,000 subscribers. I'd be pushing closer to 100, right? Because you had so many people that were interested in that business during that time, right? So now we're in a time frame where people are no longer interested in being educated. So it kind of upset me that he would say this because he has 600, almost 700,000 subscribers, and he's complaining about the views being low because a lot of those subscribers aren't interested into his content anymore. And YouTube, 9 times out of 10, isn't recommending it. If they recommend your content and you're a subscriber to a person's channel and you don't click on those videos as that content creator puts out videos, even though you're subscribed, they stop recommending it to you. I see videos pop up every now and again of channels that I've subscribed to that I forgot I subscribed to because I no longer watched. I stopped clicking on them. You know what I'm saying? For example, I was a big avid watcher of CJ on 32s during the pandemic, right? I watched a lot of channels during the pandemic because it was just nothing to do for the most part. Content was really, really big during the pandemic, right? So I would listen in on a lot of CJs. I wouldn't watch it per se. I would just kind of listen in, but I don't watch his content anymore. Right when he started doing those raffles, I used to listen in, right? But now since I don't click on those videos anymore because my interest is no longer in car builds, right? YouTube doesn't really recommend his videos, and he's a person who puts out a new video every single day, but YouTube doesn't recommend me those videos because it came to a point where I stopped clicking on them, right? So the same thing is going on with him. I just don't understand why he's complaining about it. I understand my community. I understand the Black community. So this is why I don't get upset. You see what I'm saying? I understand that there's a cap on my industry as far as being a box truck content creator. And I also understand that education and entertainment, if we're in a time frame where people just don't have the money or influence isn't pushing being your own boss, then people aren't going to come to YouTube to be educated. 2020, 2021, 2022, and maybe a little 2023, education was the big thing. It's entertainment now. So
frustrating because I know I love doing this. I love doing the videos. That's why I do them every day. But you've got to understand when you love something and you pour a lot of yourself into that thing that you love doing, you a human being, so you're gonna still want to see results. You're gonna still want to validate. You want to be validated.
I disagree. And I see where he's going with it because he has almost 700,000 subscribers and his videos do like 10,000, maybe 15,000 views. But I feel like I don't look for validation. If I help one person, then that's enough for me. It's my duty to give the information out. Now, if a person takes the information and runs with it, so be it. If people don't take it, then so be it. My job is done. At the end of the day, I can go to sleep, rest assured, because listen, here's information that I know. I've done it successfully. I put it out there for my community to grasp. If they take it, they take it. If they don't, they don't. I can't fault myself because there it go right there. And there's no price tag attached to it. Only thing you got to do is go click on it and sit there, pay attention and listen. And I think this is ultimately why the Black community creators on YouTube kind of got upset with Rich, because Rich is one of the leaders in our community. I feel like, me personally, I feel like he kind of, I think he kind of forgot what his purpose was. His purpose was to come on here and educate, like he said at the beginning. But we're going to get further into it, and then I'm going to give my thoughts because I want to break this down into three different things: education versus entertainment, which is what we're covering now. I want to talk about YouTube and how YouTube treats black content creators. And then the thing that I want to end with at the end is the subscribers. All right, because I think the subscribers are a main component on, why creators, black creators succeed, why black creators fail, and why black creators ultimately quit. You know what I'm saying? So it tells a lot to be a black creator on YouTube. But let me play maybe another minute or two of this, and then we're gonna move on.
I don't care how much money you make. Most people want to have some type of validation in their life. We're human beings. That's how we're
I disagree. I don't need nobody to validate me.
wired. We want some type of validation that, yes,
And mind you, rich is rich. Rich is rich.
what you're doing matters. So for me on this platform, the views are the validation. Again, the money's there, but that's not what validates me. Don't get me wrong, it's nice to get it, but it's not what validates me. What validates me and gives me the
What I think validates me, and I don't need validation, but if we were going to talk about validation, what I think validates me is not the views, right? I don't get, my live streams, they kind of top out somewhere between 11, 12, and maybe 2,000. I have some that have done exceptionally well, but they kind of top out, right? What I guess if I were to say something that I would deem as validation is when I have subscribers DM me, or when I have subscribers come on the live stream and say, "Man, Mark, I listened to everything you said and it worked." Or when people come and say, "Man, Mark, I was on my way out the door, I was failing, and I started watching you. I just listened to everything you said, and you turned my business around." I got a nice DM from someone this morning, and it was very nice. They sent it out of nowhere. They said, "Man, Mark, ever since I've been watching your channel, it's helped my business, and you've also helped me become a better man." Like things like that, I guess, is what I could say gives me the validation. It's not the views. All right. All right. It's not the views. All right. It's not. All right. The purpose of me being a black individual coming on here speaking to a predominantly black audience is to educate my community, which is predominantly black, that are in a field that I was successfully in, give them all the information, all the keys, all the tricks that no one gave me. I had to learn for free so that they can go out and be great. God is going to give me my blessings in some type of other form. I don't know how he's going to bless me for doing this, but rest assured, I know he's going to bless me, or he probably already has, right? All right. I'm in a better position than a lot of people. I can't complain. So if we're talking validation, in this aspect, I disagree with Rich, and I'm kind of upset with him because he's one of the OGs. He's the leader. He's a leader in black YouTube. And as far as finance, like he's one of the creme de la creme black creators in finance. I'm not really a big fan of Earn Your Leisure and stuff like that, but I like listening to Rich. You see what I'm saying? So I kind of got upset when he's talking about validation views. I think validation should come from the success stories from the subscribers who take the information that you provide, they take it, go out and apply it, and then they come back and they tell you, "Man, Rich," or "Man, Mark, everything you said, I just trusted you. I went and applied it, and it worked."
energy and gives me, I look forward to are the validation from you guys, from the audience.
Let me skip through this a little bit.
Click the button 4 years ago.
See, he keeps talking about 4 years, and 4 years ago, we were just in a different time frame. Everybody wanted to be educated 4 years ago. No one cares about that anymore. Listen, black people want to be entertained. Period. I get that. I understand that. I understand that the box truck community, there's a ceiling. I get it. I try to add a little bit of entertainment in my content, especially my live streams, to make it digestible. Because I understand where we're at right now. The people that are hanging around now are people that are still actively invested into the business, that want to scale and want to continue to grow, or people that are looking to get into the business. But I try to make it as digestible as possible. So I add a little humor, a little entertainment into it, at the expense of some of the people, you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Listen, there's a cost. So if you want to come, you want to holler at Marky Mark, sometimes you may have to, go through the accountability session, but it's for, there's good reasons behind it. It's not to pounce on you. There's good behind it, right? So I understand his frustrations, and I'm gonna take him off the screen. I think we're done with that particular category that I want to cover as far as being a black creator on YouTube. But I want the subscribers to understand, listen, this is something that a lot of content creators battle. Being a content creator on YouTube, it can be difficult. Like, your brain is always trying to think of new ideas to create content to your audience, and because it's educational, it's a little bit difficult. Entertainment, I think, is a little bit easier, right? Because you can react to a lot of different things that's going on in the world, and there's a lot of stuff that's constantly coming up. Education is education. Sometimes I find myself talking about things that I talked about last year. I just have to spice it up and add, new things to make it new. And then I have to recycle some stuff, because you constantly get uh new subscribers, and they don't like to go back and watch the old stuff. And then the quality of last year, the quality this year is a lot better than the quality of last year. So you kind of want to spruce that stuff up again. Whereas entertainment, like, it's, you could just keep making stuff up. But all right, so boom. Enough of that. Let's talk about being black creator as far as YouTube, and what I've seen being on YouTube almost 2 years, and how YouTube treats black content creators. I want to talk about the algorithm. I want to talk about the pay. I think there is, something in the algorithm that separates um, different ethnicities, different races, different creeds, so on and so forth. Um, I don't know if they have some type of facial recognition, but I think they target black creators to black audiences, and I think they target white creators to white audiences, um, and I think that does kind of hinder you. Um, I noticed that a lot of creators that I watch that do have hundreds of thousands of viewers, for the most part. And Richard, he's speaking on something. For instance, he's speaking on something that's not catered to one specific demographic. Finance information is universal. Everyone can take advantage of the information that he's given, but yet and still he has a predominantly black audience, because YouTube is pushing them to predominantly black people. I think that does kind of limit you, right? I see a lot of black content creators complaining about YouTube and the algorithm, and how the algorithm is hindering them from reaching a wider audience, because you have some creators that do this for a living. They do this for income. This is how they make their living, right? So they kind of get upset with it. I do think that is a thing. To me, it doesn't really affect me, because I don't YouTube is not something that I make a living from. Most times I lose on YouTube. The production that I put on, the equipment, the subscriptions, and all that stuff, it costs a lot of money. The artwork, the thumbnails, it costs a lot of money to be able to put this on. But the reason why I do it is because I want to give you the information. Like I said before, I want it to be digestible to the audience. I don't want you looking at a dull camera. I don't want you looking at I want the experience to be dope. So I don't mind investing money into it, even if I lose month to month. As long as someone's getting the information out of it, it's fine with me. All right. All right, let's move on. Let's get to the nitty gritty. I want to talk about the subscribers, and how subscribers can, really help a creator, hinder a creator, or just kill a creator. altogether. And I think this is where a lot of content creators, fall victim to because they don't have a strong mindset. One, let's talk about the love and the hate. And the link is pinned to the top of the chat. Anybody that wants to give their thoughts, feel free to come in and give your thoughts. Let's talk about the subscribers, the love and the hate. Out of all the content that I watch, whether it be from a black creator, white creator, or other ethnicity creators, I see the most hate within our own community. Now, check this out. Not something that I'm not used to. I see it a lot. I just know how black people are. All right, especially be here in Chicago. Like we just the city of hate. You know what I'm saying? So I'm used to it. All right, I know how to deal with it. A lot of creators don't. I don't get it as much as I see some other people get it because I'm in an education field and I'm not really in like the entertainment field. I see a lot of those entertainments kind of get it a lot. But I understand it. You get it from subscribers. You also get it from other content creators. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people want to take advantage of the monetary aspect that YouTube can provide. But I think in this space, and I'm gonna speak for this space in general, it doesn't pay like that. And I think subscribers, I think other content creators still don't understand that. Listen, if I wanted to be a successful YouTube creator, I would not be in box trucking. More proof that I'm really here to help people. Listen, and I'm gonna prove it to you. If you watch a lot of black content creators, right? You talk about Anton Daniels, Anger Man, so on and so forth, right? There's one talking point that all of them have been focused on for the past year, and that's Chicago, right? If you look at national news, every day there's a story about Chicago, right? I'm in Chicago. If I wanted to run up 100,000 subscribers in the next 3 months, I could easily run up 100,000 subscribers in the next 3 months. No problem. No problem, right? Because I'm here. Anton talks about Chicago every day, gets thousands and thousands of views, thousands and thousands of subscribers off making Chicago his talking point. And so does many other content creators. Look at what's the guy that was into the cargo vans and the gig? Hannibal. His channel was cargo vans and gig work, right? I got onto his channel because he actually emailed me last year to do an interview with me. It didn't materialize, but he had less than 10,000 subscribers. I think he had like 6,000 subscribers. He's transitioned his whole channel to talking about Tiffany Henyard. For those that aren't familiar with Tiffany Henyard, she's been making national news for the past 7-8 months. She's a mayor of a small black suburb right outside of Chicago. About 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes, right? It's like right outside Chicago, called Dalton. She's been making national news about being a corrupt mayor. He's changed his channel to specifically talking about her. Anton has been talking about her a lot too. Since he switched his channel to talking about her from cargo van and gig work, he's went from less than 10,000 subscribers to over 40,000, pushing 50,000 subscribers. And one video he did on her has 500,000 views in a few weeks. All right. So between Tiffany Henyard, all the crime here, the migrant situation that we got going here. Last week we had another national news story. There was 457 carjackings in Chicago last week alone. That made national news. If I wanted to be a big time YouTuber, I'm in the belly of the beast for content. All these content creators are making a lot of money that don't live here or Chicago. I could easily transition. I don't. I stick to what my purpose was. All right. Something that I lose money on every single month. Right. So, a lot of subscribers, they don't really take that into consideration. They don't take into consideration the people that are really here to help them. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I'm okay with. I see, and I'm speaking about like, let's say like the hate right now. Like I see, like I saw, I'm just trying to think of some, comments I seen last week. So last week I did a couple, like one controversial video. I don't have to really speak on, everybody knows what it was about. I seen somebody put in the comment section, not in my thing, but in his response or whatever. Man, we rocking with you. Mark is a hater. Somebody's like, how is Mark hating? Mark just want his money. You know, people will say things like that because they have an issue with you. That's just something you gotta let roll off. Then somebody said on my thing, man, Mark, you emotional. Just let it go. Let it go. You weren't brought up the way I was brought up. Somebody owe you something, you got to stand on it. That's not something I could stand on right here up close and personal because it's not right here. So I have to deal with it the best way I know how, and that's putting a response out on YouTube. Shit like that, you gotta deal with. You get love, but you also get hate. You know, you have people come in and they'll say things that are way out of context with what you're talking about, and then you'll sit here and you'll second guess yourself, you know, because you're dealing with your own people. And I'm gonna be honest with you, black people, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. And you'll second guess yourself, like, yo, I'm sitting up here doing this to help people. I don't gotta sit up here and listen to this. But then you gotta put yourself back in the mind frame of, yo, I'm doing this for the few. I'm not doing it for the many. You know why? Because only a few people are going to take this information and run with it. The surplus, the many aren't. So you can't let naysayers or one bad apple or one hater here or there, you know, deter you from what you originally intended out to do. That person that sent me that DM this morning, that was, you know, he sent it at the right time. You know, it was very early and it was a great way to start my day. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I do it, because that person also said in that DM, listen, I can't afford, you know, to pay some of these other guys that are charging all these thousands of dollars for mentorship. So I appreciate that you give all us this free information, because without you, man, I don't know where I would be. And you made me become not only a better businessman, something to that aspect, and then he ended like, you've also made me become a better man. He may be here. That's why I do it. So I don't really, I see the shit, but I've learned to ignore it for the most part. Now I may, I may, depending on how I'm feeling, if I see something, I may, you know, feel like dropping a link, which person ain't gonna come up here and chastise somebody. But for the most part, I'm working on just ignoring that type of shit, because I know that that's something that comes along with it. And I just know how to deal with my people. A lot of the shit that you see being a black content creator, when you see a lot of that shit, especially when you're not doing nothing but helping people, really just come from jealousy and envy. A lot of those people that do that, they just really want to be in your position. You know what I'm saying? So I take it as admiration. Um, I don't really take, and it's unfortunate. I wish, you know, us as a people, as black people, could stick together and be more positive. I think we'd be a lot better along, like some of these other ethnic groups. But you know, listen, it is what it is. I'm gonna continue to do my part. I think being black on YouTube, uh, I think it's dope. You know what I'm saying? I think, you know, on the brighter side of things, I think it's dope because prior to this, I can't think of a way that, you know, a person who wasn't on a large platform to begin with could reach a mass amount of people, you know what I'm saying, and give them, you know, the information that they have. You know, another thing that I deal with being a black person on YouTube that I don't see other ethnicity groups deal with, and actually Richard Fain, this is something that I think he talked about as well. Like, people say shit like, and it's crazy to me, like, well, Mark, you ain't in the truck, so you can't talk about trucking. How come I can't? So from 2010 all the way to the end of 2022, when I was in trucking, actively running a successful business, does that not account for anything? So when I look at other ethnicity groups, I look at chief of police. You know, a person can be the chief of a police for a city, and then when he retires, he can go take a job consultant, or he can start a security consulting firm where he just consults about, security. He's taken all his years of experience and now he's turned that into consulting. Or people like educators. Once they retire, they consult other educators. So a person like me who was successful in trucking for many, many years, every now and again, somebody says, like I seen somebody in the comments say it last week, well, man, Mark ain't in the truck. So all my years of experience don't account for nothing. So because I did what I was supposed to do, and this is only black people say this. White people don't say dumb shit because this is dumb. Like when a person says that shit, excuse me, that's dumb nigga shit. White people, they can have an illustrious, successful career and then transition out into retirement and transition into consulting or mentoring. No issue. Those communities love to go and seek tenured people that were in the space to grasp the knowledge. They don't say dumb shit. Well, oh, he's no longer the chief of police, or he doesn't know nothing about, security or policing. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. But that's just some dumb nigga shit that people say. Shit don't even make sense. Do you think about what you say before it comes out of your mouth? But that's what you have to deal with being black on YouTube. You got to deal with good stuff. And the good is being in position to give information to people who don't have the resources. Let's be frank. Let's be honest. We don't have the resources. We don't got the resources, right? You go to other ethnicity groups, the Indian community, the Chinese community, the Caucasian community. There's at least one person in each of these ethnic groups, as far as family, that probably has run a business or built a business. A lot of people have migrated to this country. A lot of migrants are millionaires, right? In our culture, it's kind of hard to find people in our inner circle, in our family, that have been successful in business. I know when I was coming up, I didn't have nobody to turn to. I had to figure this shit out on my own. Luckily for me, I'm a smart individual. So, with me, I know how to go do the research. I can comprehend really, really well. I can catch on really, really well. I'm just gifted, when it comes to business. There's other things that I've tried in life that I wasn't so gifted at. I was good, but I wasn't gifted. When it comes to business, I'm gifted, right? So it wasn't hard for me to catch on, right? But I wish that in my earlier years, I did have someone that was in my family that was a business owner, that was a retired business owner, someone that had some type of business savvy or some business acumen that I could go to for mentorship. I didn't have that. And a lot of people in our community don't have that, right? So I understand that because I went through it. So this is why I come on here, and a lot of people tell me that, hey, Mark, I don't have nobody to go to. You're the only person I can come to for knowledge, and I appreciate the fact that you give so much knowledge, and when I hit you up, you don't charge me anything because I don't have it to give you anyway. So I get that. This is why I do it. So for you people out there in my community that say dumb shit like that, stop saying that dumb shit. This is why we behind now. If there's a person in your community that looks like you, that's successful, regardless of the fact whether they're active or retired, that shouldn't matter. The only thing that matters is the information. You don't have to be active. You should be celebrating a person that looks like you, that came in, did what they were supposed to do, and got out successfully. Instead of trying to tear them down and saying dumb shit. Stop saying dumb shit. I saw that shit last week on the live stream. I had to ignore it. I just kept cooking. I saw it though. Don't think I didn't see it. I saw it. But I just kept cooking because that's me becoming a better person. Just ignore it. It would be so easy for us to get ahead if we all stuck together. I'm a smart individual and I still receive information from other people. I receive information from my elders. I receive information from Rich. I still receive information from my mother. Why? Because she's wiser. She's lived longer than me. People that I come across, I don't tear down nobody. I listen to what everybody says, no matter where they are in life, because you can receive wisdom from everywhere. Some of the most wisest people that I come across in almost my 44 years on earth are homeless people. Some of the people who are in the most dire situations, I've had some of the best conversations with. Some of the people that I'm doing a lot better than currently, that are in very just needy, desperate situations, homeless people. I've had some of the best conversations with homeless people. And this is why I can continue to elevate. This is why when people say shit about me and try to throw jabs at me, it shit just roll off me and I just keep growing. Because I try not to get mixed up with the dumb shit too much. I know my purpose of being on YouTube is to educate. It's not to come here and be a millionaire off of YouTube. I'm never going to make $1 million off of YouTube. Why? Because I'm not going to do the content that's going to warrant me making $1 million. I'm not going to make that type of money in box trucking. And I'm not going to transition. I proved I could easily transition. All the content creators that are making all the money, see, there go one hater right there, just hit the thumbs down. All the content creators that make millions of dollars, they use Chicago as their talking point. And I'm here, and I refuse to do it. So, prime example, even with me talking positive, you got a hater. But you just got to let that rub off your shoulder. And I guarantee you it's a black person. Because they're miserable. Because they didn't do what they were supposed to do. And me coming here telling people to delay your gratification, go out, work extremely hard, do what you're supposed to do, appropriate your funds in the right places. Don't go out and buy dumb shit. Create a business plan. Shout out to the super chat. I agree 100%. That's why I've been rocking with you, because the content you provide is priceless if it's studied. I appreciate that. Appreciate that super chat. So this is one of the main reasons why our community is where it's at, and why we're going to constantly stay behind the 8 ball, while we continue to let other ethnicities pass us up, why so many people that got into the box truck business failed, why so many people are continuing to fail, and not just in the box truck. Look how many people that were on YouTube when the education sector in the black community was booming on YouTube 2020, 2021, 2022. Not just in trucking, in all sectors. Look how many of us that were in and looking at all this information failed. Now, one of the main things, because we didn't do the proper due diligence, and notice I keep saying we, even though I don't fall specifically into that category, but I'm black. So when the outside looks at us, they still look at me the same. So even though I'm successful, to the outside, they still put me in that box. So I say I don't separate myself. We didn't do our due diligence, and we also didn't stick together. Why? Because so many people that did have the information, not the people who were selling information. They didn't know what the hell they was talking about. They were just taking advantage of the situation. Opportunists. The people who did have the information, did have the knowledge, they refused to give it away for free, which resulted in a minimal amount of people that could afford to buy into that information, take that information, while the masses. And here's something I've heard. People say, well, man, the people you charge the information, they're going to take it more serious. I've seen a lot of people that pay for information that failed. I've seen more people on my end that have taken free information and been more successful than the people who paid for it. So I can't really agree to that. I can't really agree with that. I see more people take all the free information and become more successful. I see more people that come on my platform that went to other people during the pandemic and paid, complain about those people, and praise me for doing so much free, and that my information, that's free information, has taken them further than the information that they paid a premium amount for. That's another reason we fail, because the people that do have it, genuinely that have it because they have the experience and the tenure, they refuse to give it out. They say the game is to be sold and not told, and that's bullshit. If you're successful in something and you give a person your blueprint, it's not going to deter you. If you're great, you're going to be great regardless. Me giving a person information that I've acquired over the years is not going to affect my bottom line, because I know how to go get it. And there's plenty of opportunity. This is not a niche that is untapped, and you're the first person to it, and you want to capitalize on it as most as possible before other people come. And listen, there's already people. There's a shit ton of people already doing it. So if you have the information that could help your brother or help your sister, give it away. Give it away. So the link is pinned to the top of the chat. If anybody has some thoughts that they want to share, let me know. Listen, I see people saying something about the hater. Listen, that's gonna come. That same hater, I know who that hater is. Every video I do, they go put a thumbs down. All my videos have one thumbs down. It's the same person. I know who it is. But this is a person who's miserable. They're miserable with their own life. Black person, miserable. A miserable black person. That watches. Listen, you have to subscribe in order to hate. So you're subscribed to hate. So that speaks a lot about that individual's character. And this just goes back to what I was just talking about. And this is why we're so far behind. People will spend their time for entertainment instead of education. This is why I don't think Richard Fain is understanding right now. Black people rather be entertained than educated. Everything that I consume majority of the time is education. I did consume some entertainment last night, and it wasn't even the Super Bowl. I could give two F's less about the Super Bowl. I don't care about the Super Bowl. I don't care about none of that stuff. I caught Nightcap late last night. Shannon and Ocho. That was the only entertainment I consumed. That was late. That was about 1 this morning. It was on late after the Super Bowl. I just happened to go on YouTube and it was live, and I clicked on it and it was kind of entertaining, so I listened to Shannon rant about Mike Epps. I didn't watch the Super Bowl. I didn't do none of that stuff. The time that the Super Bowl was on, I was consuming knowledge at that time. And this is why we're behind. So I'm going to continue to come on and educate. You don't have to worry about me, transitioning over. I just proved to you, like, I can make a lot of money on YouTube. A lot. Listen, a lot. when I watch Anton and all them talk about Chicago and run up, Anton making $100,000 a month, and his main talking point is Chicago. All these guys are talking about Chicago, and I'm here. I could go make it even better because I can go out to Dalton. I can sit in the town hall meeting and watch this lady continue to make a goddamn fool out of herself on national TV in a small town of 20,000 people. I can go sit every Monday or every third Monday in Dalton and live stream and maybe get up there and get a chance to ask her a question to go viral. It's a 15-minute drive to Dalton from downtown Chicago. 15 minutes.
Do anything as relates to with credit cards. As you heard me speak today in my board meeting about.
I'm watching so many content creators start channels just talking about her. And I'm 20 minutes away from this lady.
Not handle that.
Some of those charges are for you, though.
No, sir.
You didn't go to Las Vegas?
See what I'm saying? Listen, I will continue to do my box truck content, man, because I want to help people, man. I'm not here for the bullshit. I think, in part, and if somebody wants to hit the link, they can. Support your black content creators that are doing what they're supposed to do to help their communities, especially when it comes to education. When I say support, I'm not speaking financially. Mark is straight. Mark is good. When I say support, tap into the live streams. Hit the like button. Share the video. Engage with the community. If it's something that you learned on the channel and you see me cooking and you see somebody in the comment section asking a question that's new to the channel, answer them. If you know the answer, answer them. I'm cooking. I'm not paying attention to the chat. Each one teach one. So it takes a village. I can only do so much. So all I'm asking for from being a black content creator, because I see a lot of black content creators right now hit their wits end. A lot of people are quitting. A lot of people are getting fed up. Obviously, the ones that are, making a lot of money off of YouTube or doing this, as a career, they'll just transition their content wherever the interest in, that's where they're going to go. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm not that person, right? So all I'm asking for is, support. If you want the content to continue to come, it's already tough enough being a black content creator on YouTube. Just a little support. Hit the like button. Share the video. Help out the people that you see in the chat when I don't get to them because I'm cooking. You know what I'm saying? And spread positivity. Hit the like button. That's the only thing I can ask for. I don't need financial support. I'm good. So anybody that got any thoughts, now's the time. Hit the link. But that's just something I wanted to talk about. The education niche absolutely does not make a lot of money. It should be top niche. So here's the thing with that. The education niche on YouTube pays the most, right? As far as the CPM. But you don't make a lot because the interest isn't there with education. So watching Rich, who has almost 700,000 subscribers, complain, should tell the tale. Now, he made a lot of money off of YouTube. There go another hater. Shout out to you. He made a lot of money off of YouTube, but he made it during the pandemic, right? So, and it's strange to me why he doesn't understand why the interest isn't there now. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a smart guy. He should understand that during the pandemic, people were more interested in learning things that could make money versus now it's more entertainment. So, of course, those views are going to go down. So it's just weird to me that he doesn't understand that. The only other time that education is going to be put on a pedestal if we get back to another time where maybe free money is given out, right? And people want to parlay that free money into something that could possibly make more money, i.e. a business, right? So it takes money to start a business, right? It takes money. And unfortunately, like I said earlier, our community, we lack resources. We don't come from entitled families. We don't come from, just rich backgrounds where we have parents that can invest into our dreams. We have to get it out of the mud. So, education right now on YouTube, it's just not popular like it was 4 years ago. But it does pay the most. It's just not, even though it pays the most, if it's not popular and the views aren't there, it's not going to equate to a lot of money. So you say you seen an old white lady in the box truck running this morning? Hey man, she gotta get it too. We have gift help to make better communities. Something great is come with. Hey, listen to me. Hate to me, I'm used to it, bro. So it don't really bother me. Listen to me. I get it. I understand. Listen to me. Listen to me. I get it. I've always been, the fly guy. Nice cars, shit like that, well dressed. So I get it. I understand it, you know. But here's the thing. When I didn't have it, I did things so that I could have it. I didn't spend my time hating on the next person because they had it. The energy that you put into hating somebody, you could put that same energy into either one duplicating what they're doing or figuring out a way to go get it. All right. That's it. But when you figure out that way to come get it, what comes behind that is work, which a lot of people don't want to do. So they rather sit and hate instead of taking their ass to go to work so they could be in a position like the next man. You know what I'm saying? But you spend your time hating on people that's getting it. And you spend your time hating on people that's getting it, that's how your life gonna go, hating. And the people that you hating on, they're gonna continue to get it. So people just don't understand that formula, but it is what it is. Shout out to Spoken. Appreciate you too. We live in a popcorn society, says Ashley Daniels. To get financial freedom is brick by brick. It is brick by brick. It is brick by brick. But I think we do got to support the people like Rich and some of the other people that are in that sector that, provide information, key information. Not that generational wealth shit that you get on YouTube. Listen, the key, there's like you said, brick by brick. The building financial freedom and generational wealth is something that happens over time, like you said, brick by brick. I think a lot of the younger generation, they listen to a lot of these people on Instagram and they give them these shortcut ways or these shortcut ideas or these ill-advised ideas on financial freedom. Like a lot of people thought buying a box truck, like I watched old content in box truck and old live streams, and people in the chat said, man, I'm buying a box truck, I'm gonna put a driver in it so I can create generational wealth. Like it's ignorant. It's ignorant. So man, it's a lot of haters in here. So I think these are not, the one person I saw is my main hater, but the other people are people from other ethnic groups I see that don't like the title. Shout out to you though. Listen, I'm speaking to my people. So I see you. Don't get mad because I'm speaking to my people. All right? Go speak to your people. It's nothing to do with racism or nothing. I'm speaking to my demographic of people. So if you don't like it, so be it. You know what I'm saying? Keep hitting the thumbs down button. I don't give two damns. You know why? Because it's not going to make me. It's damn sure not going to break me. Because this is not how I live. This is not how I'm able to provide a comfortable living for myself. I don't have to do this. It affects people that make $100,000 off of YouTube a month because they have to care about those metrics. I don't. So you could keep hitting it. You can keep hitting it. And this is what they don't like. They don't like educated black people educating black people. They don't like educated black people educating black people. People want us to stay behind the 8 ball. They don't want us to have the information. They don't want us to be educated. They want us to continue to be ill-advised and misinformed. They want us to continue to be ill-advised and misinformed. So you people that are coming in here that mad because this is probably going in, you don't like the topic because I'm educating my people. Now you finna make me stay on longer. And now I'm finna give more free information that you don't want me to give. I heard somebody say the other day in passing, I forgot where I was at, but they didn't see that I was behind them. I can't remember where I was at. It was a guy. Was I in a store in line? I think I was in line behind some people. And this guy, I guess he was a developer. He was talking about building a community for veterans. He had to be some type of rich developer. Oh, I know where I was at. I was in Bloomingdale's. Shout out to everybody in Chicago. I was at 900 North Michigan Avenue. I think I was coming out of Gucci. I was in the Bloomingdale's mall. I was in line. And the guy was talking to his buddy in line before me. He was talking about how he was putting up $20 million to build this community for veterans. And he said something slick. He was like, yeah, it's the least I could do. You know, these other guys, they get a whole month to celebrate. And I don't even know why they get that month. Something to that effect. So we're the only ethnic group that gets a whole month. So I knew he was talking about black folk. Then when he turned around and realized I was standing behind him, like maybe a minute, 45 seconds later, you know, I guess he was wondering if I heard what he said, and he was just really, really, hey, how you doing? He tried to make small talk with me about the Super Bowl. Man, dude, I ain't trying to hit shit you talking about, dude. I ain't trying to hit shit you talking about. So, man, racism exists. That shit ain't never going nowhere. So, yeah, it's Black History Month. So I'm going to talk about black topics. I'm going to continue to educate black people on information that I know, information that I've obtained over my almost 44 years of living that can make black people better. Listen, anybody better. It doesn't necessarily have to be black people. But I understand that my audience is predominantly black. I have a predominantly black audience. Why? Because that's who identifies with me. I'm black. So I'm going to speak to my people. I'm going to help my people. If you don't like it, keep hitting the thumbs down button. I encourage you. I implore you to do it. I'm going to show you it doesn't make me no never mind. I'm going to hop in one of these cars. Thank you. There you go. Somebody else, hit another one. Come on. Come on. One more. There you go. Keep going. Keep going. Somebody else. I'm going to show you what it does. Absolutely nothing. So keep going. Keep going. I'm going to show you it does absolutely nothing. Nothing. Shout out to you, though. People that hate it because I chose to send my kids to selective enrollment schools. People I know hate it because, listen, what you do with your kids, that's your business. So I don't even know why people would hate. Ill-advised and misinformed goes for everyone. The same way they put blacks against blacks, they put blacks against whites. They need masses distracted while they cripple us behind the scenes. I could agree. But it seems like whenever I touch on these black topics, or when I, speak directly to, and it's titled where I'm speaking directly to black people and I'm giving positive information, but it's titled with black people, it's like people get mad. So Now, I don't feel guilty. I don't feel guilty at all. I don't feel guilty at all. Actually, it's to me, it's sad. Listen to me. I can't feel guilty. I don't feel bad. I'm straight. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. I know what comes with it. I know what comes with it. You know what I'm saying? I've been on this shit long enough. And trust me, I go into some of those white communities and listen to some of their chats, and I see the racism in there. I see it in there. They don't know I'm in there. I'm pretty sure there's other black people in there too, but I see the racism. You know what I'm saying? So when you give information to your own community, they just like I'll come in there, they'll come in here and they'll listen. But when I speak specifically to my predominantly black audience, people get upset. But it goes back to what I said earlier. We don't have the resources. So if I'm a resource and I'm a vessel, then I have to do my part and give the information. This is why I don't charge. I'm giving the information to everyone. It doesn't matter. But I understand that my audience is predominantly black, and this is Black History Month. So I'm going to talk about this shit in Black History Month to my predominantly black audience. It doesn't mean that if you're not black, you should get offended, because I haven't said anything to offend anybody. I'm just giving my predominantly black audience the information that they need. And I want them to have a different mindset when they look at black creators that are giving them information that can ultimately make them better businessmen, better businesswomen, and better people in general. So yo,
what up, Mark? Can you hear me?
yes sir. How you doing?
Man, Marcus, I was worried about you for a minute, man, but since you're bringing up all this topic, man, I have to go ahead and
What you was
speak
worried
my
about me
piece.
for?
Well, you're my dog and everything. You know how folks is, man. You know I'm going to have to defend and all, man. You're my friend, and you do a lot for us, man, and you give us so much information and everything, man.
Where
And
you from? Where you from?
I'm from Chicago, but I'm in Texas.
Oh, you from Chicago? What side you grew up on?
I grew up on the west side of Chicago, man. I was born at Wood in Washington, man. I was in the Henry Horner Projects, man.
My cousin lived in Henry Horners. I was born in Rockwell Gardens.
Yeah, Henry Horner Projects, and then I was living with
Listen,
my grand.
I was in Henry Horner. Remember when they filmed There Are No Children Here? Were you living there then?
Yeah.
The
Actually,
90.
I left there after 1989.
Okay.
1989,
So.
and then I was living on Cicero in Congress, and then
Okay.
and then we moved to Damon and Milwaukee. That was my final spot before I had moved.
So what you was worried about me for?
Oh, I'm just being a friend, man. You know what I'm saying? I just want to speak on this topic, brother. I
Well,
just want to speak my piece.
you can speak on the topic, but you said you was worried. What was you first before we speak on the topic? What was you worried about me for?
Oh, you know how folks, how these haters are, man. You know what I'm saying? They go call you all these names and all, man. I already know you a man of your word. But, I'm just.
But why was you worried? What would cause you? When have I ever shown you something to worry about me?
Nothing at all, brother. That's all.
I know. Listen to me. I'm straight. A lot of these guys on the internet, this is what I call they middle Americans, bro.
Right.
These guys are in their basement, bro. In their drawers. Right. Listen to me. Understand what I'm explaining to you. These guys are in their basement, in their drawers, in a bed bug infested bed. They probably don't have a bed frame. They have their box spring and their mattress on the ground. All right. These guys, listen, let me explain something. Eating ramen noodles. All right. Funky. Probably ain't showered in days. Just miserable. All right. They're miserable. All right. Just face looking crazy. Just despicable. You got to understand that. These guys are somewhere in the middle of nowhere. If these guys These would be the guys that if they see me in person, I'd be trying to figure out why is this guy just staring at me. This would be the guy that has all this shit to say, and then when they run across me in real life, they gonna be stuck.
Being humble.
No, they ain't gonna be humble. The point that I'm trying to make is internet. These guys ain't gonna approach you with the same shit that they type. They not gonna approach you with that shit in real life. Yeah. I ran into a subscriber last week. You know where I ran into him at? I wonder if he in here. On 75th. Guess where I was at? Guess where I was at?
Where, man?
The President's Lounge. So if that don't tell the tale, now people that ain't from here, they ain't gonna know what we talking about.
Right. Mm-hmm.
These people probably would never go to those types of places.
No, sir.
All right, no, so that's why I say is they internet, bro. You can't listen to me. I understand it. You dig what I'm saying? So, man, that shit ain't nothing. That shit ain't about nothing. But what's up, bro? What you got to talk about?
No, I mean, it's been a long time coming. I might as well speak my piece since you brung this about.
Oh, you know. And I pulled the baddest chick that was in there out of there that night too. But go ahead, you can continue. I swear to God, on everything I love, I swear to God.
All right. Well, let me go. I'm gonna go ahead and speak my piece on this culture, man. Listen, man. You're talking to a guy that, a lot of families don't. I think, and this is just my opinion alone. Nobody put a gun in my head or nothing like that, man. I just believe the black culture, like including some of my family members, they don't even believe in me. You know what I'm saying? They don't believe that I could be a successful person, to do all these things. Of course, we don't have all the resources out here, you know what I'm saying? Because they don't want me to fulfill and succeed my expectations because they don't want to see me beat them. They don't want to see me beat them. They want me in the same category as a joke. Folks is living by this government. I mean, who cares about the government? I mean, damn the government. There's so much revenue out here. You can do something better for yourself. And, we become our own worst enemy. We become our own worst enemy. Especially if I'm hanging out with some white people trying to get some game, trying to see how I can make the money and stuff like that. You know what a lot of folks call me? A sellout. They'll call me a sellout in a heartbeat just because I don't deal with the culture that they don't give. That's why I'm appreciating you. You give me so much information all for free. I got others who want me to pay damn near $1,500 just to get some information where I could get that same crap on Google, man. Just like you mentioned, a lot of these so-called content creators talking about, well, we could get you this and you could get contracts. I got a guy right now who's saying that he could give me a contract if I pay over, I don't know, $2,700. I'll get a courier contract right off the bat in 2 to 5 days. Straight up.
Is a content creator?
I've been seeing him all over. I think he got a YouTube channel, and he's all over on social media. You ever heard Daron Myers?
No, I never heard of him.
Yeah, he run this CBA, the Courier Business Association, and saying that we'll get you this contracts and stuff like that, guarantees and things of that nature. I mean, nothing in this world guarantees. Nothing in this world guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go and get what you earn. Nobody is not gonna give you a handout and tell you, well, this is how you gotta do it. You gotta start from the ground up. And I'm humble. I'm still doing little work. I'm doing little work now. I mean, I was with T-Force. T-Force don't have nothing going on for me right now. But I'm still trying to find some other jobs to work with, doing packaging, e-commerce and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I'm doing myself a thing. I'm in my SUV. I'm starting being humble. As bad as I want a cargo van right now, I can't afford it at this particular time. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying my best to rise to the occasion. Sometimes it takes time. You know what I'm saying? folks want to get everything so damn bad that a lot of people don't even know how the business plan works. So it hurts me as a black person when my own people don't want to see me succeed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got white friends, I got, Mexican friends, Asian, I got different cultures that's friends with me that wants to see the best in me. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? They'll tell me, don't give up. Keep doing your thing, keep grinding, do all this and that, and so much more. I am in
Mm.
Houston, Texas, Mark, where there is so much other cultures got so much money that we don't even have the best resources here. I'm telling you, we got a Chinatown over here. We got a little Mexico over here. We got Russian over here, Polish, all that. All of them got the business. I go to all these suburban areas, Mark. I see nothing but different cultures living in these bigger houses, and I ain't seen barely our own people being in these mansions and nice houses around the neighborhoods. A lot of people come in here because it's cheaper. A lot of
Yeah.
people come down here. It's
A
cheaper
lot of
down
people.
here.
Yeah, a lot of people from up here are moving south because it's cheaper. Is that why you moved from Chicago down south?
No, I moved down here because my wife was from here, and I thought my career would be better down here, and they would have something to offer me down here. Because before that, I was working with a company called I don't know if you know this company called Halcon. Halcon Rensenberger. I was doing some traveling with some railroad workers. So
Mm-hmm.
um I did good, but when I came down here, everything changes because the cost of living and the pay rate down here was beyond ridiculous. I thought I could keep my money from Chicago to down here. They didn't
Mm-hmm.
hold their end of the bargain, and I ended up losing my job. I ended up losing
Mm.
my job because of all of that. So I
Sorry to
had
hear
to
that.
start all over again. So, but I gets tired, man. I be in these hoods, man. Man, these hoods, man, it's bad out here, man. It's bad.
What part of Texas you in? You said you in Houston?
Yes, sir.
I thought
Yes, sir.
well, you know what? I've heard Houston is kind of changing. I heard a lot of people from Atlanta are migrating over to Houston. You got a lot of people from
Hmm.
up this way that are migrating down there. Now, I don't know why
Atlanta.
Atlanta is migrating over to Houston. I kind of understand why people from up north, especially Chicago, are migrating down there because the cost of living is cheaper down there.
It's
But
it's changing.
yeah, I heard Houston is really changing. I heard y'all dealing with that syphilis and HIV epidemic is horrible down there in Houston. And
Well, well, it's not only that, it's that more people gonna come down here because people can build their business down here. Look at this, man. They even brought Tesla down here to build their organization outside of Houston.
but
A
that's
lot of
because of
folks
the
bring their business.
that's because of the taxes. Y'all don't pay state taxes down there, right?
No, no, we don't. And
That's why. So
I do.
it's you with the that and like all the tiffs that companies get for building, starting their businesses in um Texas. That's why.
And then, and far as the apps like the roadies and all these other apps, Mark, I can tell you right now, man, the money down here you get in the app doing roadie or even thumbtack,
Mm-hmm. No good or good? No good.
none.
Damn.
Mm-mm. No, sir. I can get an order for $10 and it'll be over 20 miles. Now
Wow.
tell me, is that smart to drive almost 40 bleeping miles between 10 to 20 bucks? How in the hell are we supposed to do some stuff like that? You know what I'm saying? I barely can do that on Spark. Matter of fact, I probably have to do freight. I tried to do freight because now freight wants me to pay $35 for a background check in order to be in their app. So
Mm.
it's a lot of apps out here, man. But I mentioned you about it a long time ago, and you said because of the migrants out here that's coming out here, man, it's becoming a real big reality check.
Shit,
Because
y'all shipping them all up here.
hey, listen, man, Greg Abbott ain't playing. Greg Abbott's already throwing these people throw them like a frisbee.
Hey
Throw them like
man,
a
listen.
frisbee all over the place.
Hey, I like Greg Abbott. Even though he's shitting on us, I like him, man. I like his I
The
like that
man's
rebelliousness. And for him to be in a
the man's
wheelchair, that man got more balls than any politician that I've seen that got 2 arms and 2 legs. That man's in a wheelchair standing on business. So I
man.
can't do nothing but salute him.
But the man is ruthless.
Hey man, that's what it
He's
takes.
he's completely ruthless out here, man. The
That's what it
laws out
takes.
here in Texas, the laws
Mm-hmm.
out here in Texas is ruthless. If you be down here, you better survive out here, man, because a lot of people got a lot of power out here, man. You
Let me
try to
ask you
take
this.
power out.
Let me ask you
Mhm.
this. Do you think, because it seems like you're having a hard time in Texas, but I understand why you came down there. You did it in support of your wife. Let me ask you this. And I want you to think about the answer before you give it, unless you know it straight out the bat. Do you think it would be easier for you to make a comfortable living in Texas? Or do you think if you move back to Chicago, it'll be easier for you to make a more comfortable living? Now you got to
Mark,
remember, it's cheaper in Texas, a lot cheaper. It's expensive. Like, listen, to be up here and live up here, especially depending on where you live at. Go ahead.
It's that Texas now want to be the new Chicago. They raising the prices on rent, brother.
Mm.
They're raising the prices up on rent down here, man. They want to be like Chicago. More people are moving down here, more rent prices rises up. Don't get me wrong. If you have over 100K, you can live good down here in Texas. If you got 100K, but
Mm-hmm.
trying to get a job out here, man, let me tell you, this is a right to work state, man. People can fire you if you take a sneeze.
Yeah, I heard
You know what
that.
I'm saying?
I
People can
heard
fire
that.
you if you sneeze. People can fire you
Yeah.
if you cuss at them. Them
Yeah, I
folks will
heard.
fire you on anything, and it be my own people. I was working at a company called NV Transportation down here, and they ain't got
Mm-hmm.
nothing but my own people. But my own people fired me over some BS. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
This company, the whole turnover ratio down here when you try to work at these jobs are astronomical. Are very astronomical down here, man. I'm telling you, you better have your own business down here when you work down here in this piece, man. Because if you don't have, I got my, I got all my business license. I got my LLC. I got all of that here. It's cheaper to get the LLC, all that here. If you do an
Mm-hmm.
interstate business down here, you can make
Mm-hmm.
some money down here. You can make
Right.
some money down here. You just got to find who you can trust down here. I try to deal with Capstone. Capstone
Yeah.
don't even deal here in Texas. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
What about Waco?
Waco,
Should try Waco, and you already was with T Force. I would just keep trying back with T Force.
right. But here's the thing, though, man. It depends who you trust in. You gotta have a cargo van. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? You can deal with a small vehicle if you want to. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Small vehicle, cool. But in my opinion, if you don't
Mm-hmm.
have a you gotta start with a cargo van, man, because if you try to get a box truck out here, let me tell you
Mm-hmm.
something right now. If you don't have that moving attitude,
Mm-hmm.
you're not gonna make much out here. So, I got a Twit car too. So if you want to work and get stuff from Intermodal, you can make money down here too. So I think for me, let me tell you something, Mark. If I was back in Chicago, I would have had a job in 2 days. Here in Texas, you gotta wait damn near 2 to 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Cost of living in Chicago was okay, but I didn't live in Chicago. After I left Chicago, I was living outside Chicago at the time because I was living in DuPage County. DuPage
Okay.
County was more cheaper than Cook County, where
Where
really
was you
we
living
call
at
it
in
Crook County.
DuPage? Where was you living at in
Huh?
DuPage? Where was you living at in DuPage?
I was living in Bensenville.
Oh, you was right by the airport.
Hmm. I had saw someone gave me a chance. An old elderly white lady gave me a chance, even though my credit was effed up and everything. She gave me a chance to live in a studio apartment for $650 a month.
What year was this?
2013.
When did you move
And
out of When did you move out of Chicago?
2020.
Oh, you just left not too long ago.
Right. Right, man. And after I left, man, and then seeing all the BS what Lori Lightfoot, let alone Brandon Johnson doing, man. I mean, they're the biggest disgrace in the city of Chicago. I'm telling you, the city of Chicago ain't the same without Mayor Daley.
Hey, I
I
said
might,
that many years ago, but a lot of people didn't listen to me. Listen, it takes a corrupt mayor to run a city like this. You have to be corrupt. If you come in trying to play by the book and trying to be progressive and all that goofy shit, nothing is going to materialize from it. We need a gangster mayor, and Daley was the last gangster we had running the city. Ever since we ain't had a
man,
gangster running the city, yeah, but yeah, I get it. You a true Chicagoan, so you already know how shit work here. But let me tell you
man,
this: if you can make it in cities like this, and you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. So
hell
don't
yeah.
let being in Texas deter you. I hear everything you saying, but you're from Chicago, and if you able to
Mm-hmm.
make it in Chicago all those years, you can make it down there. You just gotta sit down, think outside the box, and come up with an idea and go out there and get it. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
I
Like
am, man. You know,
if
that's
you
why I'm
can
being
make it
humble.
here, if you can make it here, you can make it down there. Listen, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 8 or 9 cousins that have left here and moved down there, and they're doing okay. You know what I'm saying? They're doing good. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they've moved down there. They were doing worse here. You see what I'm saying? And not because
Right.
of what the community, but because of they had to move somewhere else to get away from the environment, because the environment is what was holding them back. Gang banging and just being around people that were no good. From sometimes people got to move away from what they're used to do better. So they moved down there and they've been doing better. You know what I'm saying? But if you got that hustle mentality coming from here,
Mm-hmm.
you from
Yeah.
Henry Horner. You from Henry Horner. All right. You should be able to
I,
go down there and get it, man. Just follow. Listen, follow the instructions that I knew was given to you. You know what I'm saying? With your upbringing, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about, and apply that shit
yes,
down there.
sir. Hey, man. Trust me, I'm getting it all back, man. You know, I'm
You
42
for
years old, man. I'm 42
okay?
years old, man. And, you know, I see some real crazy stuff in my life, man. And, you know, would I ever thought about coming back home to Chicago? Maybe, but I don't think so, because the way how they acting now these days, I mean, the way New York now about to give these people some of the money, the tax dollars that we have spent to give
Mm-hmm.
to them for
Mm-hmm.
free, and they get the chance to live, you know,
Mm-hmm.
comfortably, and we still out here behind the 8 ball, and we
Mm-hmm.
still behind enemy lines, and we always get the short end of the stick. And
But mm-hmm.
I'm gonna keep it funky, Mark. It's pretty fucked up that we're not, you know, getting what we deserve, man, because we listen to all the silly stuff, man. And if we don't get ourselves educated early in our
Mm-hmm.
lifetime,
Mm-hmm.
we're not going to succeed in our lifetime, man. Especially listening to all this dumb situations that we see out here now, man. I
You're
mean,
right.
listen, man. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make it,
Mm-hmm.
but I ain't gonna sell out my soul. You know what I'm saying? My goal is to be better at everything I do. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to fulfill and feed my family. My wife already told me to do whatever I gotta do. You know what I'm saying? I want to do things local. I don't want to do on the road, because I did on the road before with expediting.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't work. It didn't work. It didn't work because let me tell you something about expediting. And I hope Axel don't take this personal.
Hey, you say
But
what you want, bro.
man,
I ain't go ahead.
I know, but I'm being realistic. Expedite is good for those who single.
Okay.
If you single and you think you can travel around the world, you know what I'm saying, and
Mm-hmm.
able to live under the van, you gotta live your life in a van. You can't live life in a hotel and van all the time. You
Yeah.
gotta live in a van all the time.
Yeah.
You gotta spend
I think
almost.
people understand that.
I think you guys spend at least 6 to 8 months over the road, and I believe the majority of the businesses in the Midwest, everything is in the Midwest. I think all the resources, the freight, the money, everything is in the Midwest. Down here, you can get something, but you got to have a CDL, you know what I'm saying, or hazmat, or getting something intermodal in
Mm-hmm.
order to be successful down here if you're going to do expedite. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just being
Mm-hmm.
realistic about it, man. And, Mark, it took me a minute to take a stand on it because believe me, I normally don't like to talk on video, but I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't hold it no more. So I had to go ahead and express how I feel about the whole situation. I mean, you help out more people than you ever thought you did, man. You helped me out. Hell, you the same guy that helped me out to avoid a guy I was about to pay $1,500 to on mentorship in order to get to do a box trucking on Amazon Relay.
Oh wow.
You know what I'm saying? You're the same guy that got me off. I was about to damn near almost spend $3,000 to a guy who say you can make damn near $10,000 on a 16-foot box truck.
I think I know a guy you talking about.
Hell yeah, man. And I ain't gonna, and you already know the name, man. And I would have been a complete sucker for it, man. But, I was smart enough to know, you know what I'm saying? I had to do research. I just didn't believe it right off the spot. You know what I'm saying? That's why I had asked you these questions. And when you acknowledge those questions, it lets me know. And then, when 1+1 = 2, and then recognize this was just a bunch of BS,
Mm-hmm.
man, you saved me damn near almost $5,000, Mark. And I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart to save me from losing more money than I ever imagined. You know what I'm
Man,
saying? I would have been deep in the red. I would have been deep in the red right now. I'm in the red now, but not as bad as it is, man. I'm okay. I'm just
mm-hmm.
not deep in the red. I'm just glad I'm not real deep in the red right now. Because in a couple of weeks, me and my wife got to move. And, hopefully the job that I get, man, will provide for us, man. And I'm going to fight to try to get this cargo van, man. And as soon as I get this cargo van, man, the game is over, man. The game is over. I got that mentality, man. I just got to get that time to get everything set, man. You know what I'm saying? Because,
Man, you
my wife believes in me. You know what I'm saying? And, for you to do what you did for me, I owe you a lot, man. You're my Chicago brother, man. And I'll forever be a Chicagoan, man. Regardless wherever I go, man. It'll always be my home. But you're the man that you broke a lot of barriers. You know what I'm saying? All these people who had these so-called PPP loans telling us we could be multi-millionaires and all this other type of shit, man. It's sickening. And look at them now. Look at them now. You still here standing while they're down in the dirt trying to do whatever they can to be successful. But you telling us to do this the blueprint the right way while others want us to do it the wrong way.
Man, I appreciate that, man. Just you kind of just touched my little heart right there, man. With that, man. I appreciate
Nah,
that, man.
man. Nah, man. I'm just being a real man, because Mark, I ain't the smartest man in the world. You know what I'm saying? Might not know a lot of things in the world like you have. You know, you are grateful to have an OG, for being at CPS. You know what I'm saying? The way the schools are knacking now these days, for your
Mm-hmm.
mom to do what she did to raise you up, and the way you put you up on game, and the way you did the moving service and all that other stuff, it takes a lot of guts for a man to hire people who had bad records or who is convicted felons and you put them in the mix and make them successful business guys. It takes a lot of guts to do it, man. And I salute you dearly. I
I
salute you
appreciate
dearly,
you, man.
brother.
I
I salute
appreciate
you
you, man.
dearly, man, because it takes a lot of balls to do what you do, man. And I can't get mad for what you do in your life by telling us we can be better at it, man. You trying to elevate us. You're not trying to destroy us. You're elevating us. And we're going to continue to do that. As long as I live, I'm going to support you and your career and the channel. Man, I hope one day I'll have a box truck testimonial, tell you how I'm making my business successful, man. And when I do, you know what I'm saying, you'll be the first one I reach with, man. And I'm going to go ahead and do my thing out here. And shout out to my MGMs, man. And you got a friend for life, man. And nothing will change, man. And keep on doing your thing, man. Keep up the good work and keep reaching, brother.
Man, I appreciate you, man. That man, dog, that man, it meant a lot to me, man. I appreciate that. I really do.
And may the Lord bless you, man, on everything you do, brother. And you know, if we can talk more, man, I'll be more than happy to, man. I might not have what you have, but I'm blessed to know that you've given me more knowledge in order to be a
Listen,
successful businessman.
materialistic things don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Materialistic
Right.
things come and go. You know,
Yes,
anything
sir.
that I've obtained in life, you can obtain it. You know what I'm saying? It just takes work, dedication, a lot of sacrifice. You know, delayed gratification,
But see,
patience,
that's the
man.
problem.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the problem. And that's the problem with us people. We don't sacrifice. We don't put everything aside. Everybody wants to get the newest stuff, the newest shoes, the newest Gucci, newest all that. They got to grab all that stuff just to make them feel proud. And then, you know, it's just like tax season. Like it's tax season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you hear anybody talking about their taxes, man? Did you hear anybody?
I don't. Here's the thing. I haven't heard about. All right. So yesterday I was getting my locks retwisted. So I was in the shop.
Right.
I heard somebody talking about it yesterday, but I haven't heard as much talk about it this year as I used to hear it about it years prior. But then again, I don't frequent a lot of the same places that I used to. So me being in the shop yesterday for 3 hours, yeah, I heard conversation about
Man,
taxes, but for
man,
the most
nobody ain't
part, I
gonna
haven't
talk.
heard as much about it.
No, nobody ain't gonna talk about taxes, man, because all those taxes, man, probably be gone. Because guess what happened? If you go
Mhm.
back maybe 2 to 3 years ago when people had this so-called PPP loans, you know,
Yeah.
getting 20,000s and stuff like that, I ain't had none of that money. I had a
Mm.
stimulus check. You know what I did with that stimulus check, Mark?
What's
I
that?
gave that money back to the IRS. I didn't even
Mm.
touch that money. I gave it back to the IRS. I don't even want to touch none of it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because I already knew it was going to be some BS behind it, man. I knew it. I knew it.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
was going to get stuck in the game, man. I gave that shit back to the IRS because there's no way in hell. You know what I'm saying? You got people getting arrested now for these PPP loans and stuff like that.
A lot
And
of people
now,
took those PPP loans that didn't. They weren't. You know, they weren't supposed to get them. You know what I'm saying? I could have got
yeah,
one. I didn't even get one. Sometimes when I
hell
think about it, I'm
yeah.
like, damn, I should have got it. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I should have got one. You
No,
know what I'm saying? But I didn't.
Mark,
I didn't.
no, no,
No, no, no,
no,
no.
no,
No, no, no, no, no, no, no, no. I could have got one for my moving company. You know, my moving company suffered. You
word,
know what I'm saying?
word,
When
word.
we were
Hell
down,
yeah.
when we were
I
down
think you
those
would
few
have,
weeks. Listen, when we were down those few weeks,
right?
while we were waiting for them to figure out, and then they did the essential versus non-essential, and our industry was deemed essential. Those 2
Yeah,
weeks we were down, that affected my business because I wasn't operating the way I was operating prior to. A lot of people didn't come back to work, so technically I was entitled to
man.
something, but I didn't get it because I didn't understand it at that time. But in retrospect, when I think about it, I'm like, shit, I should have got one
Man,
because I was one of the people that it was for, and the people that it wasn't for got it and took advantage of it. And here I am. I deserved one, and I didn't go get it. But you know,
man, you would have been.
luckily for me, you know, I didn't need it. You know what I'm saying? My
Right.
assets were paid for, and it was what it was. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, a lot of those people that took that shit during that time period, they gonna bite the bullet one way or another way. It's either gonna be behind prosecution, or they're gonna come back and take their taxes. I don't think they're gonna arrest all those people. They probably just gonna
Man,
take their taxes over the
that's why
years
people
to
ain't talking, brother. We
right.
talk
They
about
they
probably. Go ahead.
they getting their taxes garnished. They taking their taxes because they got PPPs.
Man, I don't think they ain't gonna get they. And whoever like maybe borrow $10,000 or $20,000 from a PPP loan, I don't think they ain't
Mm-hmm.
gonna get their taxes back money in the next 5, 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
If the
Yeah.
IRS, keep doing it, we talking about
Mm-hmm.
5, 10 years, you ain't gonna get your tax money back. Listen, I don't know a lot of that stuff, but hey, I'm smart enough to know, man, when you borrow money from the government and something like that, you know damn well the government gonna want something back out of it. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So
Mm-hmm.
you gotta be a silly person to think you're gonna get the money for free.
I think at that time frame, people just and see this is a whole nother conversation for another day. But I just
Right.
think sometimes our people we just naive, and we are more will do it now and deal with the consequences later. I'll worry about that bridge when I
Well,
get to it.
un-
And I'm saying that because I had conversation. I had people that were still coming to work that was getting unemployment. I had a guy, I'm not gonna say his name. He
right.
was getting unemployment in like 4 or 5 different states. He was
Mm-hmm.
hooking people up with unemployment
Uh-huh.
in those same states, charging them, setting them up.
Right.
He got the PPP. He was still coming to work. He wasn't as diligent and as punctual with coming to work, but he was still coming to work. He was taking more time off, traveling, going on trips because he had a lot of money at this time. And I remember having a conversation with him. This had to be 2021, maybe. Yeah, 2021. And I said, man, when this is all over with, whatever this is that we're in and it's all over with, like eventually this is all going to catch up with you. And he said, well, man, I'll deal with that when it's time. And that's just the
Man.
mind frame, I think, with a lot of the young people, especially young people in our community. If this situation presents itself and it's right there in front of them, 9 times out of 10, they're going to accept it, and then they're just going to deal with the consequences later. They want to stunt, they want to ball out then, and they'll worry about the repercussions behind it when that shit comes. You and I are old enough to understand that repercussions are coming. And like me personally, if I were in a situation like that, I would understand, listen, the repercussions are gonna come. I don't want to deal with those repercussions. Especially when
Right.
you're established. That's a setback.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a
But my
setback. And some people whether the short-term gratification, right? At that moment, instead of worry about what's to come later, because they want to stunt, they want to ball out right then and there, take their pictures for Instagram,
mm-hmm.
because they want they want to be validated for the moment instead of worrying about, man, the shit that's gonna come bite them in the ass later. You see what I'm saying? And
Right.
that's just not the mind frame that I think people should have. But it's unfortunate that it plagues our community heavily. But it is what it
Well,
is. The only thing I could do is just try to tell people the right thing to do. But people gonna make their own decisions regardless.
yeah, but understand this, Mark. A lot of us black folks, man, when we see money, when we see, think about it, Mark, when you was a kid, and I was a kid, we was both kids. When we
Mm-hmm.
walk out in the streets, man, in those projects, man, I look out there, you see these nice cars, you know, back in those 80s and 90s, man. You know what I'm saying? When you see all the pimps and all them having them nice cars and shiny, with the nicest women and all that. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? When we have a bunch of money, like think about it, Marty. When you have a $1 bill, that's something. When you have a $5 bill, that's even something. You get a $10 bill, you get something. You get a $20 bill, that's something. $100 bill, ooh, that's crazy. But when you hit a guap of money, like when you get like 1,000 or something, understand, Mark, a lot of us, we never had that type of money. We never had this type of money before. So, we didn't know how to. We didn't know how to. And I was one of them at the time. I didn't know how to act. I didn't know how to act when you have that type of money. You know what I'm saying? You feel like you won $1 million. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know what it's like to be a millionaire. I don't know how to do that. There was times where, making a stack or two, man, and that's great. You know what I'm saying? But, when we were young, when I was young, man, when I had that type of money, man, I didn't know how to act. Everybody, until I grown, you know what I'm saying? Real people who told me how to use the money told me, you know what I'm saying? Don't get too excited. You know what I'm saying? But think about it, Mark, how you felt when you had your first $100 bill. What were you thinking?
Honestly, man, I had my first $100 bill at a young age, and it wasn't given to me. I earned it. When we used to get those blizzards back in the day, I would always go shovel snow. I would walk up and down the block. Me and a neighbor, his name was Gary, he lived 4 houses down from me. This is back when we really had winters. I don't know what's up with this global warming shit that we got going on now. We used to have winters growing up. So we would have snow on top of snow on top of snow on top of snow. And it was a blessing if it snowed Friday night going into Saturday or Saturday night going into Sunday, because I had these days where I didn't have to go to school. We had all weekend we could shovel. And I would make hundreds of dollars shoveling snow and shoveling people's driveways. So, back then, I have to answer the question fairly. There was no social media growing up in the 80s and throughout the 90s. So if we had a blizzard, and me and Gary would go and we would shovel, we would walk down the block. By this time we was not living on the west side. We was living on the east side, southeast side. Right. So we would walk up and down the blocks and we would shovel people's snow, and I would come back home with a couple $100. I earned it. So I wasn't in a mind frame back then like a person who, let's say, a couple $100 would be equivalent, let's say, to 1,000 or a couple thousand, let's say, dollars. Now where I got to go stun and I got to go do this, I would probably take $20, go buy me a CD, whatever was out at the time, The Chronic, or Doggy Style, Bloods and Crips, Banging on Wax, or Too Short, Short Dogs in the House, whatever. You dig what I'm saying? Man. And then I got gratification out of putting the rest in my drawer and letting it build up, because I didn't, there was nothing to prove to anybody. Listen, if you had a pair of Jordans, you was cool. You know what I'm saying? You was cool. I had my pair of Jordans. I had the newest tape, and that was it. I didn't. Now, if you have money, you gotta go spend it. You gotta showcase it. Why? Because you got a social media page, and you gotta keep it updated. But you can't update it unless you got a new outfit. You can't update it unless you go out and you have. They're not going to take that picture. They're not going to take that picture if they at the Cheesecake Factory. But if they in one of these experience-based restaurants where they bringing the whole pig out with the apple in the mouth and they finna roast it, and then they could take a picture of that and then take a picture of a $1,300 bill, that's important. Right. They ain't going to tell you they was at the Cheesecake Factory 2 days ago. They ain't going to let you know that, because everything is about, proving you getting money and you doing this, that. You didn't have to worry about that shit back in the day. So when you made money, you appreciated it more because you didn't have to go showcase that you went out. I didn't have to showcase that I was 12 and I just went out and shoveled snow all day and I made $300-400. There was nowhere to showcase it to.
Man, I'm assuming. Did you lawn mow? Did you mow in the summer?
I didn't mow in the summer because I hated mowing our grass because I got hay fever. So me mowing our grass every Saturday or Sunday, I already knew I was going to start sneezing. I was going to have it was just going to be bad for me. You know what I'm saying? But I had to do it because my brother wasn't going to do it. My brother was running the streets. So I was the guy that had to shovel the snow and cut the grass. So no, that wasn't one of my hustles. But in the wintertime, I would go shovel some snow. I would walk up and down the blocks and I would shovel snow. But yeah, now versus then, it was a different time frame. I think social media killed. I think it really. Oh yeah. I think it's very detrimental to children coming up today because it's like, man, It's just like they have
Mark, it's
something to
jealousy,
prove.
man. It's jealousy, dog. It's jealousy. When they think about it, Mark, listen, I couldn't get the hottest girl in high school unless I have the right clothes on. Man, I had nothing but Walmart clothes. I had Payless shoes, and the only Jordans my parents was able to give me was Jumpman. You know, it wasn't Jordan type,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
Jumpman.
Jumpmans. I remember when the Jumpmans
Jumpman.
came out. Yeah, yeah.
Jumpmans I could live with. So
Mm-hmm.
I didn't care for all
What
that.
what high school did you go to? Because you like a year or two younger than me. What high school did you go to?
Unfortunately, I was down in, when I was living in Chicago in '89, I got shifted down to Memphis. I graduated in Memphis, Tennessee,
Okay.
of Kingsbury High School of
Okay.
2001.
So you didn't go to school here for high
No,
school.
I didn't go no high school, man. The elementary school I left was Jacob Bider on Kessie. Bider
Okay.
on Kessie. So
Okay.
that's the last elementary school I was in Chicago. I was in Bider, up in
Mm-hmm.
on Kessie and Lake, if I ain't mistaken.
Okay.
You know, so I was nearby that green line, man. Shoot, I liked it the blue line than the green line. So
Okay.
even though I'm a Cub
Okay.
fan, so
Okay.
but
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to hold you up too long, man. I just wanted to give you my piece, man, and I want to give you my acknowledgement. I want to give you my flowers, man, and man, I'm gonna continue to do my thing, man, and keep on lifting the brothers up, man, because without you, for you to do this for free, man, that's God sending, man. That's God sending, man. A lot of these people would be charging out the frame, man, and us brothers don't have that type of money. You know what I'm saying? For you to tell us what we got to do for free in order to build up to make the money, that says itself, man. So
A
I'm
lot
gonna
of people
go
don't
ahead and
like. A
ride
lot
out.
of people don't. A lot of people don't like that I do that, man.
So what? Who gives
No,
a
I don't
fuck?
care. I don't care. That's why. That's why I do it more.
So
You know,
what?
I
Who
like
cares,
pissing
man?
people off. No, I
Man,
know.
that's
I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. I don't care, man. I'm just telling you. Yeah, a lot of people don't like the fact that I do that.
right, man. Who cares, man? Shoot,
They told me.
you do your thing. Long as God's blessing you and with the talents and everything, man. Listen, man, you already got a lot of guys successful, man, and you probably gonna make me successful if I continue to do what I need to do, man. It's gonna take some time, but I promise you, man, when it happens, man, you'll be the first one I reach, man, and let you know I
It's
did
gonna
it,
happen,
man.
bro. It's gonna happen, man. Just man, dude, you from the crib, man. Take that mentality that you got from the crib and take it down there. Listen, you from the crib, bro. Anywhere you go, you can make it. Earth is your
Yes,
turf.
sir.
Don't let nobody tell
All right.
you nothing
Yes,
otherwise. You from the crib, dog. Don't you ever forget that. Don't you ever
yes,
forget
sir.
that.
Yes,
This
sir.
whole country, and I'm keeping it funky. Some people ain't mad. They all get influenced from us. We the culture.
You
We the
damn right.
culture, bro. We the culture. We
Yes,
is
sir.
everything that's moving in our community as far as the culture in this country right now. The influence is coming from here, and that's
You
facts.
goddamn right.
So
You
don't you ever
damn right.
forget that. Don't you ever forget that. Wherever you at, you can make it. All right.
Yes, sir. Have a good
All
day,
right,
brother.
bro.
May the Lord bless you.
Likewise.
All right.
Peace. All right, man. I'm gonna take one more call. If anybody else want to call up, just to talk about the topic that I spoke on earlier, as far as content creation and being black on YouTube, and even if you watch the dialogue between me and Kelvin, I think it was even that dialogue. You're welcome to come up. I'll take one more, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. I need to hit the gym and run some errands. So I'll take one more. She said, Mark, I like you, but Miami is the culture. Y'all come here on vacation. All right, so look, I've been to Miami one time, and I didn't really care for it. When I say we the culture, I mean most of the influence in music, culture, it comes from the crib. Even what I was talking about earlier, look at your content creators. Your big black content creators are focusing on Chicago content. I'm in Chicago and I'm not focusing on it. I'm not talking about Tiffany Henry. I ain't talking about the crime here, all the 457 carjackings last week, the migrant. I could really run up a serious bag on YouTube. Everybody's looking at us. The drilling, all that stuff is from the crib. I hear you, but Chicago is the culture. We running the culture right now. We running it. Even Memphis. Listen, check it out. Memphis got their culture from us. All the shit that's going down there in Memphis is from here. Even with the war that's going on, where did the vice lords originate from? I know you from Memphis.
Man, listen.
All that originated from the crib. What's going on, brother? Talk to me. I know you got smoke. I know you got some smoke for me.
Hey,
What
man,
you got for me?
Hey, you got some city shit real quick, man.
Hey, come on. What you got for me?
You know Texas what that is.
Oh
man.
no, you from Texas. I thought you was from Memphis. It was somebody I talked to a week or two ago that looked just like you was from Memphis. He was the moving guy. You the Texas guy. You the Texas guy who I said was the pimp. Yeah. Y'all get y'all influence from us too. I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. Y'all get a little influence from us too.
I just wanted to give you a little update, man. You know,
What's going
I feel
on?
like I'm one of your students. So I just want to give you an update. I've been running the relay, huh?
Okay.
And so I started the relay. I've been juggling my own jobs. You know, I don't know if I've told you. You know, I be staging houses down here, and I also been trying to incorporate moves like you said too. But I did have a few questions when it comes to moves, right? Do you charge for stairs and stuff?
After the second flight.
After the second 10 stairs is considered a flight, right?
No, first floor, second floor.
First floor, second floor.
So if it's here back in the day when I was first getting started, I didn't do that, right? You're trying to build up a clientele. So, you know, we would go 4 flights for just the hourly wage. But as you become tenured and, you know, you have a clientele base and you are in a position where you're booking so many moves and you only have a certain amount of trucks, you turning jobs away, you can charge for stuff like that. After the second flight, then the third flight, there's an additional fee. And then 4th flight, additional fee, 5th flight. You know, we've had jobs where people have purchased, that lived in high rises that are older buildings where furniture wasn't as big as it is now. And these elevators just aren't conducive to the size of furniture. Now we've had to take sofas up 50 flights of stairs, 60 flights of stairs. Then you charge accordingly. So it's expensive, you know, but yeah, after the second flight, then it's an additional fee.
And then I'm in Texas. So what would you recommend I pay a guy hourly? And then, cause you know, I want, like you said, I want to keep them up with that want to come work. I don't want to shortchange to where I'm, getting the quality of what I'm paying out the work.
What's the minimum wage down there?
I think it's $7.50.
Damn! Shout out to Ray for that super chat.
Sweet.
Is that the state minimum wage? $7.50.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, y'all tweaking down there, boy. All right, well, shit. Hey, I think our state minimum wage is like 7 something, but the city has its own mandated minimum wage, which is I think like 20 now. It's here in the city of Chicago. So, I mean, I wouldn't pay nobody less right now with the current cost of living. I don't know what the cost of living down there is, but I know it's lower than what it is up here, but I would still pay somebody $20 because at minimum $20 an hour because I mean, it's moving. I mean, you're charging, let's say 2 guys, you're charging $100 an hour, let's say. So even if you charge even if you pay them $25 an hour a piece, obviously you want to pay your driver a little bit more because he never gets a break. He's got to move and then he's got to drive. All right, well, then you could pay your helpers somewhere between $20 to $30. Because if you're driving and you're charging $100 an hour for 2 men, even if you're paying them $30 an hour, you're still making $70 an hour profit off the labor. Plus whatever, your truck costs are. And if you charge for materials, your markup on materials plus your truck fee, that's reoccurring. If you do 3 small moves in a day, let's say 3 1-bedrooms, and you charge each customer $150 truck fee, You just made $450 off the truck fee. You're not gonna even spend that in fuel. You're not gonna spend that in material. So you're making money off the truck fee, plus you're making money off the labor. So
so then with that, I think that's why I'm having trouble scaling my. First off, I think I'm doing too many things at one time, which you will probably
this
not
ain't
rest.
this wasn't a box truck topic today. We
It
talking
was
about
when we
black.
was
Did you look at the thumbnail and read the title?
we on Black History Month.
All right, then we talking about black stuff. And you talk, but come on, man.
All
I'm
right,
gonna
all
let you
right.
rock. I'm gonna let you rock, bro. I'm gonna let you rock.
No. Hey, I catch you. I'm catch you on the next slide.
Nah. Come on, we already in the conversation now. I forgot. So go on here. I'm gonna let you rock since we already into it, bro. But you gotta pay attention to the thumbtails. But go ahead. You got it.
So, man, y'all was just talking about the money on the last convo too, though.
But it was more based around the black, about being just black, and and just our community and lack of resources and things like that.
But we gotta figure it out, though.
I'm trying to help y'all figure it out.
Yeah, you can't
But you guys,
about it.
you can't complain. Some people listen, some people don't listen. You got people that come in.
It's hard. It's hard, but it's fair.
It's hard, but it's fair. You know what I'm saying? And and actually, the harder it is, the more you appreciate it.
And I ain't gonna lie too. I think I take like a big chunk of it like to the chin, cause I've been in prison, so like that's like the bottom of the bottom of what you get treated like. So it's like in the world, it's like they on bullshit, but it could be worse.
It could always be worse. It could always be worse. But the opportunity is there. You just gotta go out. How old were you again? 31, 30?
I'm 32.
32. All right. Yeah, so yeah, you should charge. Well, here's the thing. You trying to build a clientele, so I think you should go 3 flights at just whatever your normal rate is. I think if you don't have a clientele base and you're not in a position where you can turn people away, meaning if you're not telling people you're booked up, then you're in no position to say, listen,
So
I'm go ahead.
I think right now what I'm doing, I think I'm doing too much without knowing like how much I'm scaling. So like I said, like I get staging calls, so I might get 2 calls this week that say, hey, I need you to pick up this staging job, and then I need this house staged. But then I might have a relay Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then somebody called me about a move, and so now I'm trying to squeeze it in. And so now I'm spreading myself too thin.
You're spreading yourself too thin. You like the guy on testimonials the other day that was trying to do Amazon and trying to do dedicated. You can't do that. So relay is going to bring you into the morning. Your first jobs for moving on should start somewhere between 7 and 9 a.m. So it's not, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have to pick one or the other. Because all those things are going to overlap. You know what I'm saying?
But the
and
only
you just
reason
don't
why I incorporated it because, sometimes that staging don't be consistent. I might have a house sit on the market for maybe 2-3 months, maybe even 6 months. So
You
it's
talking about
kind of
with
like,
the stage and stuff?
Yeah, so I had those houses sitting on the market, but I'm not really gauging like my profits, and all I'm trying to do is make sure I'm staying busy, make sure I'm steady working.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can't really speak to the staging. I've done a lot of staging jobs in my company, but we were picking the stuff up and dropping it off, and the realtors were staging. We were just relocating the stuff from storage to the condo or the house that needed to be staged for sale. So I can't really speak to that aspect. But if you want to talk about moving, and what you talking about, Amazon relay, those two, if you're utilizing one truck, that stuff is going to run into each other. You see what I'm saying? So when it comes busy moving season, the last thing if I would want to do, let's say if I was running Amazon at night for $300 or $400, whatever it is, I'm not saying these numbers to shit on nobody. I don't want nobody to think that, because I think when I say that, people get mad and shit like that. I'm saying if I'm running Amazon all night and I'm making, let's say $500-$600, let's just make the numbers a little higher, and I got a 9 o'clock move, but I'm still out trying to hit these post offices, and I got 3 moves scheduled, 3 1-bedrooms. That 1 bedroom is going to average me somewhere between $500 and $750. The second one's going to average me somewhere between 500. I'm not going to miss a 500 to 750 3-hour job because I'm running all night to make $500.
But
So
then when I think,
this is where you got to weigh in priority. You not going to be able to do both because you don't have a truck that can just focus on that overnight and be done with it, and then have a truck that's ready and ready to go, that's sitting there and waiting for somebody to come in and go do these moves. If you doing 2-3 moves a day and you focusing on small jobs, let's say 1 to 2 bedrooms, you're doing 2 or 3 of them a day. How much more money do you want to make? You already made over $1,000, pushing $2,000. Like, what more do you? I'm saying, like,
but could I be concerned, like, so when you do the moves, you gotta bust down like the expenses, everything. So by the time you get everything up out of it, it's what I probably profit 200-300.
What expenses are you talking about?
Paying on the guy.
Listen, moving, the customer's paying for everything. If you got the manpower, you got the equipment, the customer pays for everything. You're making money off the labor, you're making money off the equipment, as far as the truck, the materials, all that. The customer's paying for all that. With this final mile, with Amazon, with OTR, you have to calculate your cost of running that. With moving, okay, I charge, let's say 2 guys, I charge $100 an hour, right? If I'm paying $25 an hour, I know I'm making 50% profit off each person because I'm charging $50 an hour per man, $100 an hour. So how are you losing? You're making money off the labor. If I'm charging $150 truck fee, I'm making money off that because most moves locally are going somewhere less than 10 miles. So you're not burning any fuel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Material costs, you're charging a markup on that. Customers paying for that, even if you bundle that into the truck fee. If you're really smart with moving, you know how to utilize less material. Yeah, you're gonna use shrink wrap, but man, I'm gonna show you where to go get the 80 gauge shrink wrap for not that expensive. Like most people that are new that don't know any better go to Uline and spend all that money. I can show you where to go get cases of 80 gauge shrink wrap for $70. You see what I'm saying? So if you're smart, you're gonna go buy a bunch of rubber bands and certain things. You're gonna put rubber band. You're gonna throw the blanket on there. You're gonna put the rubber band around it, right? Because now you're saving on shrink wrap. Or certain things you're just gonna use tape, right? Because cheap tape is cheaper than the shrink wrap. Certain things you don't have to. Like, these are all skills and little tricks of the trade that you learn over time on how to even increase your margins even more. Your margins in moving are astronomical to begin with because you're making money. You already know what your margins are before you even do the job. I'm charging $100 for two guys an hour, and I'm paying them $25 a piece. I'm making 50%. I know the move. Man, listen, we do moves from around the corner, still $150, $200 truck fee. Same building moves. Hey, we're moving from the 15th floor to the penthouse. Travel fee.
Hey, do you got a blueprint of that I can buy from you?
I don't sell nothing. I'm telling you. Where you gonna buy? I'm just told you what to do.
I know I ain't write it down no more.
Okay, hit replay. After the live is over, it'll be up. Just go replay it. You're not finna make my job harder, and I'm giving it to you for free. You think I'm gonna
No. I
write this stuff up? Huh?
No, I thought you may have had it from your old company. I thought you may have had like a price sheet or something, blueprint.
Yeah, I do. But I'm not. I'm telling you. Listen, I've been retired since 2022. Yesterday's prices are not today's prices. So why would I tell you prices from when I ended in 2022 and it's 2024 and the cost of living is a little bit higher?
Not so much prices, but like how to negotiate like a contract, what I should have in there, how I should set up my deposit situation as far as when they book the move, stuff like that. Because sometimes I feel like I be too lax and I just be going with the flow, and sometimes that put me more under stress than it does the customer.
Well, I covered this the other day, I think, with Big Zoe when he had read into his situation. I don't know if you watched that live stream.
Yeah. I heard. He
Well,
said he got
here's the
bumped
thing.
for.
Here's the thing with deposits. If you're building out a business and you got a lot of clientele, now you're responsible for all those deposits. Once I reached success and moving, I was booked out 30 days. So my August calendar would be filled second week of July. So you're holding deposits for shit that's a month and a half. Like, you're responsible for that money. So if you know you're a person who may have $50,000, let's say $30,000 sitting in an account on deposits for moves that you got to go do, and you're using that money, and these people start canceling for whatever reason, and you don't have that money, and you feel like you're not responsible, I wouldn't necessarily do that. I think a person who's tenured, who's experienced, who already has money, I feel it's safe to do that. If you're not in that space yet, and you feel like if something arises and you got $20,000 in deposit, well, I'll take this money because I know I'm somebody gonna book. I get it back, or the back end. Like, listen, no, don't none of that fly. So I would say don't take deposits. You know what I'm saying? That's just my professional opinion. And then another thing, if you're not licensed, you don't want to take those deposits either. All right. I would utilize a credit merchant, right? Find a credit merchant so you can take
that
credit
was
card.
something else I was gonna ask you too. You told him that you'll tell him offline, but I need, because I ain't gonna lie, Mark. My when it comes to my books, I couldn't
Shout out
tell
for that
you
super chat.
what is what.
How you can't tell me what's from your books? They your books. How you don't know what's what from what in your own books? Oh, he froze up. Yo, shout out for that super chat, Great Polo. Appreciate you. Yo, I guess he froze up. Go ahead and call back. Terrence. I'm gonna drop you. Call back. You froze up. I'm gonna give him a chance to call back. All right, there you go. Oh, come on. No, that ain't him. There you go. Go and call back, Terrence. Terrence, go ahead and call back. You froze up. And then I think I was getting a call at the same time coming through the computer. So go ahead and call back. I think I saw something. What did Pippi say? Mark, can you ask him about the last time? Yeah, I asked him. Go ahead and call back, Terrence. Because I'm curious to know why you don't understand your own books. Time is 1 o'clock, 1:30 almost. All right. Let me see. While I'm reading some of these comments while I wait for Terrence to hit the link again. Man, y'all Texas people down there seeming like y'all having some issues, man. A lot of Texas people seem like they having a hard time. I thought Texas was nothing but space and opportunity. What's going on down there in Texas, man? That big old state. Kelvin said it was difficult. Terrence saying it's difficult. What's going on down there in Texas? I thought it was a lot of opportunity down there in Texas. Okay, I guess Terrence. Man, who the keep calling me, bro? I hate when people just steady blow me up. Just call one time. I'll call you back. All right, Terrence, you coming back or what? You said Texas is not what it seems? Yeah, I don't know. I never did business per se in Texas, so. All right, so I don't know. Terrence probably ain't calling back. So listen, I appreciate everybody. Hopefully somebody, at least one person, got some type of information from this live stream. It's just some thoughts that I wanted to discuss as far as, being an African American content creator on YouTube. Uh, I think the biggest thing for people watching this to take is, if you find a content creator that's in our space, support them, with a like, a share, passing the information along to other people that need it, celebrating the people that have information and knowledge that's willing to give it out to help, so that we can continue to build our community and thrive, and reach some of these heights that a lot of other communities have reached and continue to reach. All right, so I appreciate y'all. Until the next one, I'm out.